So, who are you?
It's a good question. My name is Lora. I'm a human being. I'm an artist.
And we are at your studio.
Yeah, we're in the east of Helsinki. Since I remember myself as myself, I knew I'm an artist. I knew I was an artist. It was very, very clear from the beginning. I went to study at the academy in Bulgaria. I went to study porcelain and glass. We were 5 girls. It was like girl power for sure in this program. I was so much focused on the things that I was doing, so it was not so much about, for me, the community. I wouldn't say that I had some students, they go to study and they have the student life that, partying and stuff like that. Yeah, there was this kind of thing for sure, but also I had to be pretty kind of, in some situations, pretty smart to be able to basically cope with life. Yeah.
Which is a very useful skill if you're an artist.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it is very useful.
What was your first job?
I was working as a graphic designer, a part-time graphic designer in a publishing house. First year when I was not studying and I was in Sofia, that first year, I was not working like part-time. Actually, and I got even a second job at that time, which was really funny. And I was like, oh my gosh, anyway. But it was in a bar and it was in the evening. I went 2 times to United States in the summer. I was working in a gift shop in a hotel, and I was also I had another job as well in a restaurant. I was a waitress. Yeah, 2 jobs. Actually, this experience was so important for me because I kind of...
That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah.
In what way do you think those jobs affected you?
I don't know if it's more like the jobs, but for me, because traveling is so important thing in my life, in this sense to get to know another culture and just to get out of your environment and move yourself to a different place. It was very important because, again, I will link it to art because I was actually in Salt Lake City, and then there's the Salt Lake City Art Center. And I remember I saw this very interesting exhibition of one photographer, which really kind of, I think this was the time when I was like, oh, wow, I just saw something that I haven't seen before. And later when I went to New York, it really opened my eyes. I completely started to perceive the world maybe a bit more in a broader way. Yeah. At one point, when I was in the academy, I was very rebellious, even later. But I was like, no, I want something else. I want something that is more contemporary but I really appreciate the skills that I've learned during these times. And I remember my sculpture professor once said that if you know the basics, you can do anything. And I was like, whatever. But later, it's so true actually, because at least for me, it took me some time to kind of really to discover what type of art I want to do and who I am actually as an artist. It took me some time, and then now I start to really resonates with me, and I think I'm applying exactly this right now in my practice, which is quite funny. I was pretty sure that I wanted to do a master degree abroad. Well, by saying abroad, I would just specifically say it was Northern Europe. Yeah, it was for me. It was very clear. Well, it's a very good question. Why? I have had always very special connection to the North. I used to listen to a lot of black metal and metal music in general. So obviously this is like a clear connection, but it was not that connection, just simply it was one of those things. I mean, there's a mystery here that it attracts me, that there's something wild here that I don't know exactly how to put into words, that it's something that it really resonates with me, who I am. I got the invitation to one performance festival, which was in Pori. And then, funny enough, I met my husband there. So, but at the university, I ended up studying here. I mean, it was already in my focus even before that.
So what did you study here and where?
Before even applying to Aalto University, I studied in the Aalto University. Before that, even I was coming here to visit at that time my boyfriend, and he was coming to Bulgaria. So it was like, it's quite different when you know already the environment, or at least you have some kind of idea where you're going. I was looking for a program which was covering more things rather than being a bit more specific, because other programs that I've looked for in the academy, they were like either painting, sculpture, or like whatever, time and space. And it was very specific, and I wanted to have something that it covers all of them. And I wanted always to study fine art, and I always wanted to study something that it's more like broader. Honestly speaking, I had some difficult experiences, and I did so. I think my work got a negative response, and I had to deal with this. And eventually, I had to work a lot on myself and think things through. But I'm so happy I did that. I am so glad that I did this. I went out of, not only of my comfort zone, I wanted to break something. I wanted to break a pattern that I felt I should be doing that, you know. I felt that I should go for that thing.
What are you working on right now?
Yeah, right now I'm actually working on few sculptural installations, or like sculptural works. And at the moment, these are kind of developing in the process. I don't know exactly where I will end up with this, but I'm pretty inspired and very interested in what I'm doing currently in regards to this sculptural work. I also do some paintings and I work on some drawings. I usually work on few pieces at a time or few works, and I tend to switch between them, not to get too bored or too trapped in one thing. After many years of break from porcelain, I started really to feel that connection again, use it in my work along with some other ceramic materials, like other clays, like other type of, yeah. Right now at the moment, actually, I'm so much into porcelain painting, and I've been kind of trying to implement painting into the sculptural work. So this is what I'm going to do with this new work.
You mentioned that after many years of not working with that material, what were you doing before that? What kind of medium?
I was not having a real studio, and then I was like working with video photography and like digital media and stuff like that. And I guess I was a bit tired at one point from that work, so I was looking for something else. And at that time it was okay, but then I had a long break. I was not doing sculptures for many years, but then that kind of need return, and very naturally, and then I'm so happy that I'm back to using my hands, and I'm back into the feeling when I create a mess. And it's just, I know it's funny, but I love it. And then when there's something going on that I use my hands and feel things and feel the material, and when things don't work out sometimes, it's such a joy. I actually intentionally, I sometimes break things, and sometimes not intentionally, but I like this to see because if you see something like that, it's whole, it's just so perfect, or like something it's not right. I need to see the essence in nature. If you see these materials, you see clays, where they come from, you start really to understand. Like I really like to observe nature, how it works, and it's not like this kind of perfection that human creates. So artificial to me. It's like in nature there's no such thing. We are not working in cooperation with nature. This is one thing that I'm constantly thinking of, because I'm a person that who really loves nature, and I mean nature, and it's so deep in my being. I'm constantly thinking about this. Yeah.
which kind of already answers my next question about the themes in your work.
It's kind of pieces of me that are scattered within in some space somewhere, in some immaterial space that are floating, and I try to capture them and try to materialize them. And that's why for me sculpture is so interesting, or making installations, because I almost feel like I could manifest something into the physical to take it out from some, I don't know, other dimension, if you say, like I could materialize it and I could see it from myself. Like I could feel it and touch it. I want to see that the work is like a puzzle or a mystery that does not give me a straightforward answers, but it's something that it's rather pointing at certain things, but it's still something maybe unexplainable or existing of itself without any sort of human agenda there.
So you're just facilitating it to come to.
Yeah. I think the work itself it wants something from me. I sometimes don't know even what I'm doing, and I like that because it's like, oh, what is this? But then eventually everything sort of reveals in the process, and I'm completely unaware sometimes. Like often actually, I'm not aware what's going on, but I start to become more and more curious, and that keeps my curiosity.
So trust the process.
Definitely trust the process.
Do you have some sort of routines how to go into that process or how to navigate the process?
Yes, I actually do have routines. So I need to have a lot of notebooks and a lot of sketchbooks, because I have actually so many sketchbooks that all over the place, even not only in my studio but also at home. And I'm constantly sketching or drawing without any specific intention, without any specific purpose. And then I do that. This is for me, like, I think you could call it a ritual, but it kind of really, I love that process, because when I look back at this and I'm like, oh, wow. And I actually, when you're so unconscious, you draw or you write something, I have noticed that these are the moments when I need, and I'm constantly looking at this note on like notebooks or sketchbooks and even like painting with some colors and stuff like this, whatever. I don't really think about it, but these are always this, oh, wow, yeah, I got this. I mean, it's amazing how this works. So it's basically not controlling.
Is the community now important to you in your life and art? We were talking about when you were studying that it wasn't defining, but how do you feel now about that?
It is very important. Actually, it really helped me when I moved to this studio. It really helped me to feel again this energy and this just the vibe that, you know, I'm really living this life that I really want to live, and that I think that's why the community is so important, to kind of to share ideas and to communicate with people. My work is very solitary, because most of the time I'm by myself. I'm not social when I work, but then outside my studio, because here there are other artists, and I can be social and I can get out if I want to be social and share things with people. And that's so important. It's very good. I have had so good conversations here.
The studio is very important to you.
It is very important. It's like, for me, it would be difficult to be surrounded by other people. I've worked in situations like this, but I need my own space, because my work process is very much like meditation. Maybe I could compare it, or something that it's so personal, and that it's really, I don't want to be disturbed by some external things. It's my territory for sure.
What's most important for you in this territory? What kind of elements of the studio you find very crucial?
On a practical level, I really like the lighting in my studio. I mean, I really like the fact that I have privacy here, because there's lighting that comes from above, and I don't have to worry about somebody's watching me, or like how I work and stuff like this. So this is a very important part of the studio. But what kind of things are crucial? It's like I have some territories in my studio that I have mapped it in a way that I have a space where I do
different zones, you mean?
Yeah, different zones, territories. Yeah, different zones where I'm navigating between them, like more like the space for action, and then the other space that I'm doing more of computer work or some writing and stuff like this. And then I have a couch where I can rest and even take a nap. The space itself, like where the couch is, and it's there's these different zones. Yeah.
Do you have other storage for your art, or is everything fitting here?
For now, everything fits here. Unfortunately, I don't have other storage space, which makes it like really difficult. I need constantly to rearrange things in order to.
How big is the room?
It's 25 square meters, so it's I need bigger space for sure. I need bigger space. That's the next level.